The Mahaweli River is Sri Lanka's longest river, over 300 kilometers long. Until the 1960s, a famous landmark stood along its bank. Today, it's gone. However, there's one remaining photograph. This photo was taken by then Archaeological Commissioner HCP Bell in 1897. It shows a small boy atop a rock statue of an elephant. The statue, carved out of a small jutting rock, is mostly submerged in water. Only the top of the head is visible. Bell claimed that this was a life-size statue of an elephant, made to seem as if it was wading across the river. Here's an artificially enhanced version of the same photo. At the time, Bell couldn't find any inscriptions about this statue nearby. In fact, he was clueless as to why it was constructed at such a remote location. Furthermore, what was the purpose of this statue? The statue was located near the village of Katuwanvila in the north-central province of Sri Lanka. By all accounts, it stood on the west bank of the Mahaweli River, opposite Katuwanvila. HCP Bell, who launched an expedition to the area in 1897, was first informed about the statue by an assistant conservator of forests. In his diary entry from September 23, 1897, Bell says that he crossed the river 1.5 miles north of Muthugala, near Katuwanvila. He then travelled upstream along the left bank for 1/4 mile, where the statue was located. The statue was locally known as Gal Aliyah, meaning rock elephant, since it was carved out of stone. Bell took measurements of the visible part of the statue, but he couldn't find any reason why or when it was constructed. For all purposes, this statue was a mystery. Harry Storey, a well-known colonial hunter, provides the next first-hand account of the mysterious statue. In 1907, Harry travelled downstream for a hunting mission on a canoe. During the trip, he saw the rock elephant too, but Harry was lucky. At the time, the water level was low, so he saw the whole statue from head to toe. But Harry says that even though the upper portion of the statue was impressive, the parts submerged in water were poorly carved. He says that the statue was made to seem as if the elephant was rising from a kneeling position. The statue also had tusks that were not well carved. Harry further stated that the legs and feet were poorly executed too. He also said, altogether, the figure shows up at its best with, say, only above 2/3 of the head above the water. But even Harry couldn't find any inscriptions that revealed its purpose. In conclusion, he echoed Bell's confusion by saying, "Absolutely nothing is known of the meaning or origin of this mysterious head. For centuries, this statue was mostly submerged in water. Many believe that it was originally built this way." However, in an article from 1980, Dennis Fernando states that during the past 2,000 years, the course of the Mahaweli River changed. He illustrated the point by using aerial photographs showing the old route of the river. Dennis clarified that the rock elephant statue, which was part of an ancient monastery situated above ground, was partly submerged when the river changed its course. Even today, if you look at satellite photographs, the old route of the river is faintly visible on the left-hand side. Back then, the rock elephant statue was not submerged in water. After the river changed its course, the new route supposedly destroyed the monastery and submerged the statue. There's also a theory that the elephant in this statue is a swamp elephant. Swamp elephants were said to be larger than other elephants in Sri Lanka. It's believed that the size of the head in this statue was equal to the actual size of a swamp elephant's head. The massive skull of a swamp elephant can be seen at the Colombo National Museum. Swamp elephants were initially described by colonial hunters at Manampatiya in the early 1900s. Hunters like Samuel Baker and Harry Storey have claimed that the largest elephants inhabited this region. Further up north, in the 1950s, a swamp elephant attacked a photographer at Meanvillu. The photographer, Eric Swan, took this picture of the elephant just before it killed him. Later, some people decided to kill it, fearing it would attack humans routinely. But interestingly, this elephant was never seen again. Hence, it isn't far-fetched to say that the rock elephant statue depicted a swamp elephant. Apart from HCP Bell's famous photograph, this photo has emerged recently on social media. No source is cited for this photograph, but it appears to be the rock elephant photographed from a different angle. The same horizontal indentation on the upper trunk and right ear in Bell's photo can be seen in this photo. In the 1960s, a planter known as Mike Clark stated that the trunk of the statue was damaged. But who took this photograph? More importantly, what happened to the statue? In 1964, Sri Lankan architect Ismeth Rahim travelled up the Mahaweli River and saw the rock elephant. He's one of the last people to have seen the statue. Based on most accounts, the statue survived until the 1960s. Sadly, it was destroyed by treasure hunters who blasted it to pieces. But no treasure was ever found. Hence, another historically valuable landmark was destroyed by the greed of man.